stream tonight for the Berkley Big Bass Tournament, brought to you by Bass Champs, brought to you by Lake Fork. It's coming up this weekend. We're going to give you the best baits for that 2024 edition, not to be confused with all the other 8 million Berkley videos there. We'll get to that here in a minute. Anyways, we're going to use some top baits tonight. Hang on just a second. I forgot to mute my TV in the background. Give me 1 second. All right, part on me. Cheers, y'all. Let's get it. As you get here tonight, drop me a comment. Let me know who we're talking to. If you got any questions, ask them. We'll answer them at the end. Once we get done talking to you about the Berkley Big Bag. Sometimes I get excited when I'm on camera. I talk too fast. I can't keep up, and it just sounds like. I apologize for that. Cheers, y'all. Let's get it. Y'all ever feel like your dogs are judging you? I got 2 judgmental-ass dogs right over there that are staring a hole through me. Like I'm waiting, like I'm holding their dinner or something over here, man. I tell you, they give me the dirty eye. So, Berkley tournament. I did not realize how many Berkley bass fishing posts and videos and stuff there had been over the years, but I guess, we've been doing this for 8 years now. We've put out probably 15. Because we usually do 2 a year. We usually do a preview. We do sometimes we do a results. Sometimes we might have put out 20 or more Berkley videos over the years. I was just kind of looking through that earlier today. I was like, God dang, man, there's a lot of videos on the Berkley. I guess on YouTube these days, there's a lot of videos on whatever you want to find them on, including the Berkley Big Bass Tournament. So, yeah, it was interesting to me. Just a little side note. So, fall fishing, got a cold front, came in last night, this morning. It got pretty cold this morning. Wind blew like crazy. It was blowing from before daylight. Wind was getting it and blew all day, pretty much. Skeeter, you want to say hi to anybody? Come here. Come on, jump up here and say hi. Come on. What are you doing? Come on. Hi, they're right there. Tell them. Skeeter jumping in the action. All right, that's enough now. Good girl. Okay, good girl. All right, get down. I got to talk to him about cold fronts and fishing, Skeeter. Thank you. Yeah, so, that did hit the shallow bite a little bit. Like, even yesterday, like, leading up to the tournament, the shallow bite kind of got funky. Yesterday was just a weird day all the way around. Like, we just couldn't connect on our bites. Like, we actually still got somewhat of a reasonable amount of bites yesterday. We just couldn't connect on them very well. Like, it was just short bites or just user error or just couldn't get connected. But today it was like, shallow bite definitely got affected. So there's kind of 2 different bites that have been going on. Some of this could change by tournament day. What I honestly think is going to happen is the water temperature is not cooling off a crazy amount. We've been in the upper 70s. Yesterday we're like 75. Today it was dropping down into the lower 70s. So it's been a significant change, but like to me, usually until you get below that 70-degree mark, things don't really change. They just kind of exaggerate what you've already been experiencing. But as far as the temperature drop goes, once the fish settle in and it stabilizes a little bit, from 77 to 72, all it does is make whatever the pattern better. So these shallow fish that have been around grass eating shad, eating small shad, like that should improve going down to 72. And then kind of once we get below 60, it kind of changes where those fish are positioning, where those fish are holding, what they're eating, that type of thing. Crawfish come into play, all kinds of things once you get down below 70. But so for right now, I think the same bite that we've been going on should be good. Now, if it continues to hold out the tough bite throughout the week, couple things you can do. One of the things, I posted it on a short video, TikTok style video out here earlier. Man, that 1/4 ounce lipless crankbait can be applied really tough up shallow. Like it's something you can fish, cover a lot of water with. If you're around grass, you'll get those little twitches, rips out of the grass that get the reaction bites. But that small profile 1/4 ounce lipless crankbait can be a day saver when it's tough. The other thing is just a red shad power worm. And I just had a consultation, and I mentioned this to that guy, but you can go back and find videos on here of me throwing red shad Lake Fork tackle worms, red shad Berkley power worms in October. It's literally the only time of year that I throw a regular old ribbon tail 7-inch worm is October. And it always comes into play in October. It's always effective. So if the bite's really tough, that works. Here's what I think should work. The little swim baits, the 3 to 4 inch swim baits should still work. I'm throwing them on a flashy swimmer. The flukes, the wacky worms, those should still work. A little bit of a flip and bite at times with, just Texas rig stuff. But really, the little swim bait, the weightless plastic wacky worm or fluke, and then an occasional bite on a frog or a topwater popper if you're not around too much grass. So, topwater, swim bait, weightless plastic. Those three things, and whatever variation you're confident that imitates a smaller shad, should be the deal. The bite should be really good. And as far as colors, let's go shad. You know, white on the swim bait, some type of white, silver, gray. Even with some white, silver, gray in it, albino shad, Tennessee shad, baby bass. Something that has a lighter color that makes it imitate a shad. Wacky worm, we're just throwing watermelon, whatever. Watermelon red. I think we're throwing Houdini this week. Houdini is a color that I'm pretty fond of. It's got some gold flake and some red flake, and I like it. And I've bought a bunch of them, so I've probably been throwing Houdini just because I had a bunch of them in the box. But yeah, watermelon, anything with some sparkles should be fine on the wacky worm. But mainly it's about those shad up shallow, man, and imitating those 2 to 3 inch shad. That's the big deal. And being efficient in what you're fishing. So if you're fishing grass, the little swim bait's perfect because you can reel it through all of it. There's some lily pad fields. We've been catching some fish off the edges of some of those. There's some flooded bushes. We've been catching the fish around some of those. You guys have seen some of that in the videos we've done. But, tonight's video is about baits, and that's really it, dude. It's the little swim bait, the little fluke, or wacky worm, and the frog. Now, those are the baits that have been working. Hopefully those will continue to work. If they don't, the next 2 baits I suggest you try are the ones I mentioned earlier, 1/4 ounce lipless crankbait and red shad power worm, 7 inch. If you want to get frisky and go try to catch one, like the one, and really you're going to catch about 4. It's probably about how many you're going to catch in a day if you do this, about 4, maybe 5 if you're good. You got to have LiveScope to do it. It's main lake. It's what we saw Patrick Walters do all those years ago in 2020 when he won the tournament here in the fall of 2020 doing this. But the glide baits, man, jerk baits, glide baits, really glide baits seem to be working the best. But Alabama rig they'll react to a little bit as well. So Alabama rigs, jerk baits, glide baits. Berkley does make some good glide. They make the Nessie, and I think that may be the only glide bait they got. I know I've seen one in Lake Fork Marina, and then I've seen advertisements online for one called the Nessie. But they do have a glide bait. Locate fish on LiveScope on the main lake, kind of on points, sides of points, sometimes just down do nothing banks. But anywhere from like 12 to say 17 feet of water is kind of where we're looking for them. And just looking for bigger returns on the LiveScope on a tree. Throwing past it, letting the bait drop down to the level the fish is at. Medium retrieve swimming the glide bait up to the fish. If the fish follows it off the tree, twitch, like, make it zoom out in front of it, make it jerk like it's running away from it. That is what triggers the bite and gets the reaction from them. Now, I will say this, you got to have some patience and some stick-to-itiveness, as they say. That's a Billy Lawson patent invented word, stick-to-itiveness. Invented that a long time ago. But for every one of those fish that will follow that glide bait off the tree and flash on it when you twitch it forward, man, like 1 in 10 bite or something like that. I guess you got to do it over and over and over again. Just trust this is going to make one of them commit. Like when you see them, like when you run it away and they run after it, like you're going to catch one of those fish. It's coming. Just keep staying with it. If you're getting them to react and getting them as your glide bait zooms away, they zoom after your glide bait. If you're getting that reaction, you're doing what you need to do. Just keep doing it enough times, they're going to react. And usually it's a bigger fish. And you can kind of tell how big it is and whether you need to spend time trying to catch it or not based on LiveScope too. This thing, you can be really selective and only look for giants and pass over all the medium-sized fish. And then if you catch 4 of those a day and they're all really big, you got a chance at one of those being over, and then you win in a big way, potentially win the whole tournament. So it's definitely a home run scenario. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to see all the fish the way you need to see them, control the boat the way you need to control it. It's not easy the way you have to fish the glide bait to like force them to react right now. Like even that is a little bit advanced and difficult. So lots of challenges to that way of fishing. If I was fishing this tournament, that's all I would do. Like if I was fishing this tournament, maybe I might be talking to a couple hours of fishing shallow grass to try and get a couple 2-pounders, go make an easy check to get our money back. But I would spend pretty much all my time on the main lake glide baiting for a giant, trying to make a real big one react. So just because I know what the potential of happening is out there as far as the size of fish you could possibly catch. I mean, it could be anything. There's no limit to how big the fish can be, really. Going to a rocky lake tomorrow, what do you think we ought to focus on? So Rocky Lake, if it's in the fall, if you're north of here, it's probably time to bust out the jigs and imitate the crawfish. Small, compact, remember, crawfish, just like bass, there's a bunch of little bitty bass that were born in March swimming in the lake. There's a bunch of little bitty crawfish that are crawling around the lake. Young of the year crawfish is a thing in the fall. The bass love to key in on. I would throw tight, compact jigs, like trim the skirts down, trim the trailers down, make it tight, compact. I like that on a rock lake this time of year. Also cranking, anything bouncing, deflecting off those rocks, it looks like a shad. So shad and crawfish, probably both. Especially if you're north of here, the crawfish might play. If you're around here or south of here, yeah, and you're on a rocky lake, then there is no doubt about what you need to be throwing. It is a square bill and a lipless crankbait, and you need to be banging the square bill off the rocks, making them react. That is the deal. This time of year, rocky lake, that's the deal. Square bills are a big deal. If you're a live scoping guy, then you know some of the stuff we've been talking about, the glide baits, the jerk baits, the Alabama rigs, all that's going to work on live scope no matter where you go this time of year. What do I think tomorrow will fish like after the supermoon? Tomorrow's going to probably fish like absolute dog crap. I mean, that's the reality. You think we got like cold front, supermoon, high winds today. Like, I don't think tomorrow's going to fish very good at all. If I'm just being honest with you, I think tomorrow's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. What do I think about a 7-inch or 10-inch Berkley Blue Fleck power worm? Blue Fleck's a great color. I said red shad. Blue Fleck's just as good. 7-inch power worm's definitely a player this time of year most of the time. Randy Kennedy, you need to delete your comment. I've never been there, but from what I've heard, that is a lake that you do not want being publicly known about. You're going to want to delete that comment right now, please. As far as will that lake pattern the same as Fork? Yeah, probably pretty similar. If it's got grass in it, probably pretty similar. Good job, Randy. Appreciate it. Yeah, listen, I don't want that lake getting blasted on here. I don't know how many people are going to end up watching this video post-production. I don't know how many people would take that comment and even latch onto that or even see the comment. I don't know how many people like to look at the comments. But I've heard, I know that lake's really small, and I've heard that lake's really special, and I would not want that to be a reason that lake got exposed and got too much pressure. So that is part of it when you're talking about small public bodies of water, man. Like, you guys know I like to share as much as anybody. I tell you right where I'm fishing a lot of times, all that stuff. But when you're talking about a public body of water, it's very small. It does not take very many boats to have a very negative effect on them. So you got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with that. So I appreciate you deleting that. Not for me, but for the other guys and for yourself and for the other guys that are locals there. That's a good idea to not mention that lake because I've heard some crazy stuff about it. Crazy stuff. Chris Curtis said, I did see his comment and I don't know why he put it on there. Yeah, you want to keep some of that stuff on the small public lake. You want to keep that hush as much as you can. I've heard some absolutely wild. Now that that's deleted, I have heard some wild stories about that lake, and it's not even in Texas. But I've heard some crazy stuff about it. It's little bitty, but maybe whoever's telling me that could have been full of it. But I've heard some crazy stuff. We'll just say that. So, all right, hey. We're kind of short and quick and to the point tonight, man. Knock the top baits out real quick. If you guys got some questions, ask them now. I'll hang around a couple more minutes to answer them. If we don't have very many questions coming in, we'll probably just answer what's there and then wrap it up. But always going to be a good experience when you get to fish Lake Fork in a tournament. Always. He said it'll make you or break you, but it's a gem. Okay, he's talking about that lake. I got you. Yeah, it's so hit or miss. Man, most big fish fisheries are hit or miss. Always going to be a great experience with Bass Champs at the Berkley. They do such a great job. Best team trail operation out there. Really feel like they put on the best events for your weekend team anglers, man. They do a great job. Chad Potts and the gang over there, good people, man, really good people. So y'all go, if you're fishing this weekend, enjoy everything they offer you. It'll be good times. What else? Let's see. Lake Fork Marina, great hosts, good people over there. Dana Donahue, they're good. Dana and Ken Donahue, good people, man. We're fortunate, I mean, listen, I've had some run-ins with folks over the years in this fishing industry, and there's a lot I can say about people in this industry that I do not like. What I do know is there's a lot of good people in this industry too, and the good ones are some of the best people you'll ever meet in life. And Dana and Ken fall in that category, and everything that I know about Chad Potts falls into that category too. So a lot of good folks involved in this event. So a good opportunity for you guys to have a good time this weekend. Take a chance at catching a big fish. So it should be a good deal. Matt Scotch, best way to fish that fluke. Man, just kind of milking it with twitches, Sit. Nothing there. Pop, pop, pop. Really like sharp snap the slack, kind of twitches 3 or 4 real quick ones, and then let it feather on back down to that grass, lift up, nothing there, pop it again. Just let it sit for a little while, 5 seconds, maybe 3 seconds, whatever. Just give it a good pause when it hits down into that grass. Check it up, snatch it up, let it fall again, good pause, check it up, snatch it up. Chris Curtis says, I have a good fishing channel on YouTube. Just want to let you know. I appreciate you watching, dude. Thank you very much for the comment, and thank you for watching, as always. Appreciate that. Got my brother-in-law sneaking around in the background. So, I don't know how many of you guys know this, but we had a baby. Most of y'all know this, but we had a baby. Me and my wife had a baby in April 26th. And my brother-in-law's over there. So my wife has a sister. Obviously, if I have a brother-in-law, my wife has a sister. They had a baby like 2 months after ours. Like 2.5 months after ours. Like right away. 2 months after ours, they had it. So the sisters were pregnant at the same time. My brother-in-law, we both got new babies. Their baby was at our house today because they went to the state fair. So they came here to pick it up right before I went on live. So my sister-in-law and brother-in-law in the other room with my wife and the babies. And he's like sneaking around trying to grab a car seat and stuff in the background. So you never know what's going on, like back there. Back there. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. So all right, guys, man, we're not seeing any questions come in, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, man. Thank you so much. Hope this helps you guys catch some more and bigger fish. We're going to try to start being more regular with content so you guys kind of know. Like, I know we had a lighter crowd tonight than we used to because we haven't been doing live streams on a regular basis. So try to start Wednesdays. I think that's a good fit for me and my schedule with my kids' sports stuff. Dude, that may change in a few weeks. But for now, I'm going to try to do live streams on Wednesdays going forward so you guys will know when to join. I'll get better at doing them. Tonight was a little bit clunky and awkward for me. Yeah, it's funny. Somebody said, I didn't even mention this. So this is the tournament named after my daughter this weekend. So we actually have a daughter named Berkley. I have a dog named Skeeter and a daughter named Berkley. Yeah, my life might be about the fish life. You know what I mean? And somebody says, Berkley, is that the right spelling? No, her name is spelled Berkley is how my daughter's name is spelled. And I think that's exactly how the bait company spells it too. I may have wrote it on the birth certificate like that just because I don't know any other way to spell it. That very well could have been what happened. That's about how complicated the thinking gets around here. So that's it, guys. We're out, man. Thank you guys so much for watching. Catch some big ones this weekend. We'll holler at you next week. More video content coming. We'll try to do live stream on Wednesday, make that a regular deal. And we'll see you next time right here on your Lake Fork Guide.